Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim. Welcome back to our channel. After a comprehensive overview about the 47 types of angels created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are now moving towards the Malaikat Al Ajsad, the angels of the body that test through illness, fatigue and pain. Among the veiled orders of the celestial hierarchy described in both Quranic symbolism and Sufi metaphysics, the Malaikat Al Ajsad, the angels of the bodies, hold a deeply intimate and mysterious station. These angels preside over the realm of corporeal existence called the al-Ajsād and are entrusted with administering the divine tests that occur through the human body: illness, fatigue, aging, hunger, weakness, recovery, and all sensations that bind the soul to its physical vessel. Their presence is felt not in the serenity of comfort, but in the intensity of the body's limitations. For through the body's vulnerability, the soul learns endurance, humility, and surrender. These are the beings of unfathomable might, created from the most luminous light of Nur Muhammadi, meaning the divine light of Prophet Muhammad. According to classical Tasawwufi cosmology, these angels function as both executors of divine decree and teachers of inner patience. They are not the angels of punishment or reward, but of transmutation, transforming pain into purification and sickness into spiritual awakening. The Malā'ikat Al-Ajsād operate at the subtle threshold between the physical and spiritual planes, carrying commands that govern the body's equilibrium and its trials. In the unseen order, they are said to record every sensation felt by the servant, not as deeds, but as states of the soul under divine testing. Their light is soft and dense, interwoven with the vital energies that flow through every limb, every heartbeat, every breath. In Tasawwufi literature, these angels are regarded as the veil bearers of the soul's alchemy. Sheikh Ibn Arabi describes that the body is the shadow of the spirit and its pain is the echo of divine love calling it home. Hence, the Malaikat Al Ajsad reveal to the seeker that physical pain is not separation from Allah, but an invitation to closeness, a dialogue between the soul's yearning and its mortal shell. They teach the seeker that each ache, fever, or weakness carries a secret message, an opportunity for purification, meaning taqdeer, and remembrance, meaning zikr of Allah. Those who perceive with inner sight realize that these angels do not punish, they guide through embodiment, showing that every limitation of the body is a step towards spiritual transcendence. In the hierarchy of Tasawwufi cosmology, the Malaikat Al Ajsad are believed to form the 9th order of the angelic ranks, positioned beneath the Malaikat Al Imtihan, the angels of testing, and above the Malaikat Al Nafs, angels of the lower self. Their domain encompasses the physical realm, but their origin is purely luminous. They descend into density only to uplift it back into light. Thus, the Malaikat Al Ajsad remind every soul that the body is not a prison, but a mirror of divine wisdom. Illness is not a curse, but a veil through which the light of patience shines. Fatigue and pain are not punishments, but pathways of surrender. To recognize their presence is to understand that the divine works through every cell, and that every breath taken in remembrance transforms the body into a sanctuary of divine endurance. Before going further, a quick update. All our videos are available in both English and Urdu languages on our YouTube channel. You can find them by navigating to our playlists, where all our videos are available for your convenience. Now let's continue. Quranic mentions. 1. Surah Al-Baqarah verses 155 to 157. And we will surely test you with something of fear and hunger, and a loss of wealth and lives and fruits, but give good tidings to the patient. Those who, when disaster strikes them, say, "Indeed we belong to Allah, and indeed to Him we will return." Those are the ones upon whom are blessings from their Lord and mercy, and it is those who are the rightly guided. These verses describe the universal law of divine testing, where the Malaikat Al Ajsad oversee bodily afflictions that purify the patient's soul. 2. Surah Al-Ankabut verses 2 to 3. Do the people think that they will be left to say, "We believe and they will not be tested, but we certainly tested those before them, and Allah will surely make evident those who are truthful, and He will surely make evident the liars." The angels of bodily testing administer trials that manifest sincerity and faith through endurance of hardship. 3. Surah Al-Baqarah verse 286. Allah does not burden a soul beyond that it can bear, a fundamental verse describing the mercy of divine testing. The Malā'ikat al-Ajsad never impose suffering without measure. They act only within the divine limits of a soul's capacity. 4. Surah At-Taghabun verse 11. No disaster strikes except by permission of Allah, and whoever believes in Allah, He will guide his heart. These angels are executors of divine permission, bi-idnillah, carrying decrees of pain or healing to strengthen the believer's heart. 5. Surah Al-An'am verse 17. If Allah touches you with harm, none can remove it but Him. And if He touches you with good, then He is over all things competent. The Malaikat Al Ajsad are the carriers of both harm and healing, acting only through Allah's will, a reminder of total dependence upon Him. 6. Surah Al-Isra verse 82. And we send down of the Quran that which is healing and mercy for the believers, but it does not increase the wrongdoers except in loss. The healing light of the Quran flows through the same angelic order that administers pain, thus uniting illness and cure within the same divine wisdom. 7. Surah Al-Shu'ara verse 80. And when I am ill, it is He who cures me. Prophet Ibrahim acknowledges that every ailment is divinely decreed and every recovery is through Allah's command carried by His angels of healing. 8. Surah Al-Araf verse 94. And we sent to every town a prophet, but we seized its people with suffering and adversity that they might humble themselves. Bodily afflictions act as angelic awakeners, urging people toward repentance and humility. 9. Surah As-Sajdah verse 21. And we will surely let them taste the nearer punishment, short of the greater punishment, that perhaps they will return. These angels administer temporary physical pains, meaning adhab ad-dunya, as gentle warnings, mercy before final judgment. 10. Surah Al-Balad verse 4. Indeed, we have created man into hardship. The angels of bodily testing embody this universal law of embodiment, that every living soul must pass through the furnace of struggle. 11. Surah Al-Inshirah verses 5 and 6. For indeed with hardship comes ease, indeed with hardship comes ease. Every pain brought by the Malaikat Al Ajsad carries within it a hidden ease, the expansion of the soul beyond the limits of the flesh. 12. Surah Al-Zumar verses 53 and 54. Say, O my servants who have transgressed against themselves, do not despair of the mercy of Allah. Indeed, Allah forgives all sins. Indeed, it is He who is the forgiving, the merciful. Bodily trials, under these angels' charge, remind the believer that Allah's mercy surpasses all physical suffering. 13. Surah Al-Hadid verses 22 and 23. No disaster strikes upon the earth or among yourselves except that it is in a register before we bring it into being. Indeed, that for Allah is easy, so that you not despair over what has eluded you and not exult in pride over what He has given you. These verses unveil that every pain or sickness is preordained, and the angels of the body are its executors according to the divine decree written in Allah al-Mahfuz. 14. Surah At-Tawbah, verse 51. Say, never will we be struck except by what Allah has decreed for us. He is our protector, and upon Allah let the believers rely. The Malaikat Al Ajsad act as servants of Qadar, meaning destiny. They do not afflict except under Allah's command, preserving balance between the decree and the believer's trust. 15. Surah Al-Insan, verse 2. Indeed, we created man from a drop of mixed fluid so that we may test him, and we made him hearing and seeing. The human body is itself a divine testing ground, and these angels supervise its creation, growth, decline, and eventual return. In our previous videos, we also explored the verse on how Allah created every living thing from water, the creation of the waters above the dome and below the flat earth, the firmament dome above the flat earth, actual shape of the earth according to the Quran and Islamic cosmology, primordial waters of the heavens, the kursi, meaning the footstool of Allah, the arsh, meaning the throne of Allah, Lawh al-Mahfuz, meaning the sacred tablet, the second creation of Allah, al-Qalam, why Allah created the universe, the first creation of Allah, the 7 portals and dimensions of the universe, and discussed where Allah was before He created the universe. If you haven't watched them yet, please do. Now, let's continue. Hadith mentions 1. Angels visiting the sick, stated in Sahih Muslim, Hadith 2569. The Prophet said, when a Muslim visits his sick brother, he continues to be in the fruit garden of paradise until he returns. The angels accompany the visitor, enveloping both in mercy, and they record every step as purification. These are among the Malaikat Al Ajsad of healing and compassion. 2. Angels' supplication for the sick, mentioned in Al-Bukhari, Hadith 5649. Hazrat Abdullah bin Abbas reported, the Prophet said, when a Muslim falls ill, Allah sends 2 angels to him. They look at what he says to those who visit him. If he praises Allah and shows patience, they take his words up to Allah, and he says, if I make my servant die, I will admit him to paradise, and if I restore him to health, I will replace his flesh with better flesh and his blood with better blood, and I will erase his sins. 2 angels of bodily trial remain beside every sick believer, recording his spiritual state and transmitting his response directly to the divine presence. 3. Angels record patience in sickness, mentioned in Ahmad, Hadith 22,365. The Messenger of Allah said, no fatigue, nor disease, nor sorrow, nor sadness, nor hurt, nor distress befalls a Muslim, even if it were the prick he receives from a thorn, but that Allah expiates some of his sins for that. Every wound or pain has angelic scribes assigned to it, ensuring that no pain goes unrewarded. 4. Angels administer healing, mentioned in Ibn Majah, Hadith 30,437. The Prophet said, for every disease there is a cure, and when the cure corresponds with the disease, Allah grants recovery by His permission. The Malaikat Al Ajsad carry the divine permission ideation for each cure, transmitting the healing vibration of the divine name Ash-Shafi through the unseen world. 5. Angels of illness as guests, mentioned in Shu'ab al-Iman, Volume 7, page 247, is reported from Wahb ibn Munabi that the Prophet said, when the believer is ill, Allah sends an angel to him who says, O illness, speak gently with Allah's servant. If he is patient, you are commanded to depart. If he is ungrateful, you are ordered to intensify. These are command-bearing angels who personify the test, controlling the degree of bodily pain according to the heart state. 6. Angels weigh the reward of suffering, Mentioned in Al-Bukhari, Hadith 5648. The Prophet said, "No Muslim is afflicted with fatigue, illness, anxiety, grief, harm or sadness, even the pricking of a thorn, but that Allah will expiate some of his sins because of it. The angels of the body record and weigh every ache on the mizan, transforming it into light on the day of judgment." 7. Angels removing sins through pain. Mentioned in Muslim, Hadith 2572. Abu Hurairah reported, "The Messenger of Allah said, the believer is not afflicted by fatigue, illness, anxiety, grief or harm, not even a thorn that pricks him, except that Allah expiates some of his sins for that." Bodily pain is an angelic purification process, washing the spirit through suffering. 8. Angels guard the sick at night. Mentioned in Al-Bukhari, Hadith 2996. The Prophet said, "Angels take turns among you by night and by day, and they assemble at the time of Fajr and Asr prayer. Those who have spent the night among you ascend, and Allah asks them, though He knows best, 'In what state did you leave my servants?' They say, 'We left them praying, and we came to them praying.' For the ill, these alternating angels also report their condition nightly, making illness a continuous act of worship in heaven's record. 9. Angels bring tranquility during agony. Mentioned in Al-Kubra al-Bayhaqi, Volume 3, page 368. The Prophet said, "When a believer suffers and nears death, Allah sends an angel to him who soothes him and reminds him of the mercy of Allah until his soul departs at ease. The Malaikat Al Ajsad ease the separation between soul and flesh, ensuring a peaceful transition for those purified by suffering." 10. Angels attend the martyr in sickness. Mentioned in Ahmad, Hadith 12,022. The Prophet said, "No one is struck by pain or sickness, even as small as a prick, but Allah raises him in rank and wipes away his sins. And if he bears it patiently, the angels record his name among the patient. Illness endured with steadfastness is a hidden martyrdom. Its witnesses are the angels themselves." 11. Angels of healing and the Prophet Ayub. Mentioned in Tafsir Ibn Kathir on Surah Sad, verses 41 to 44. When Ayub cried, "Indeed adversity has touched me, and you are the most merciful of the merciful," Allah sent Jibreel with the command to strike the ground. A spring gushed forth and he was healed. This event signifies the descent of the Malaikat Al Ajsad under Jibreel's leadership to reverse bodily decay into divine restoration. 12. Angels write the reward of illness. Mentioned in Abi Dawood, Hadith 3090, the Prophet said, "When a servant falls ill or travels, Allah records for him the same deeds he used to do when he was healthy and resident." Angels preserve the continuity of deeds. Sickness does not suspend good works, it only transfers them into angelic custody. 13. Angels pray for the patient. Mentioned in Al-Mujam al-Kabir, Hadith 8439, the Prophet said, "When a believer is sick, Allah commands His angels, 'Write for my servant the reward of what he used to do while healthy until I cause him to recover or take him to me.' Their presence ensures that illness is not wasted. Every breath of pain becomes recorded dhikr. 14. Angels administer divine touch. Mentioned in Ibn Hibban, Hadith 2924. The Prophet said, "Allah has angels who cleanse the believer through illness as fire cleans gold. The angelic purification by pain. Body becomes the crucible of the soul's gold." 15. Angels and the smell of patience. Mentioned in Abi Ya'la, Hadith 2291. The Prophet said, "When a patient is patient, the angels spread their wings for him, and a fragrance arises to the heavens like musk. The Malaikat Al Ajsad emit celestial fragrances from the bodies of the patient, a signature of divine acceptance. Together, these narrations illuminate how angels surround every human illness, testing, purifying, comforting, and elevating the soul through bodily trial. They are both the bearers of affliction and the carriers of healing, acting under Allah's command to transform pain into purification and hardship into mercy. Description and numbers. In the sacred cosmology of the unseen, the Alam al-Ghebib, the Malaikat Al Ajsad, angels of the body, form one of the most intimate and ever-present angelic orders in creation. Unlike the grand messengers of revelation or the mighty angels of punishment, these beings dwell in proximity to the human form itself, assigned by Allah from the moment of conception until the final breath. Their domain is the Ajsad, the physical vessels through which the spirit manifests its divine test, and they govern the subtle harmony between body, soul, and destiny. According to classical Tasawwufi cosmology, this angelic host is composed of 4,000 primary angels under the supervision of Raqib and Atid, the twin scribes of deeds. Yet beneath them unfolds a hierarchy of specialization. 360 angels correspond to each joint and limb of the human body, in perfect reflection of the 360 breaths of the human day. Each of these angels is responsible for maintaining the spiritual equilibrium between Ruh, meaning spirit, and Nafs, meaning ego, allowing the physical form to sustain life through divine permission. 70,000 angels circulate within the currents of blood and lymph, carrying divine vibrations through every pulse. Their unseen task is to infuse life energy, meaning barakah, into each cell, ensuring the continuity of existence until the destined hour. Two chief angels of affliction, sometimes identified in the Tasawwufi texts as Hazrat Abd al-Sabr and Hazrat Abd al-Shifatil, preside over illness and healing respectively. The first decrees the measure of pain, while the second delivers the decree of recovery, both acting upon the command of Allah's name Ash-Shafi, the healer. In a narration attributed to the early ascetics, it is said that 7 angels guard the body's 7 openings, preserving purity, 2 at the eyes, 2 at the ears, 1 at the mouth, 1 at the navel, and 1 at the private parts. They record what enters and exits, ensuring that each physical act aligns with the covenant of trust, meaning a manna given to mankind. Another 12 angels are said to rotate between the organs of the heart and liver, preserving the rhythms of life and ensuring that spiritual sincerity does not depart from the seat of faith. When the body falls ill, it is not abandoned, rather the Malaikat Al Ajsad intensify their presence. The Quran alludes to this angelic nearness in Surah Al-Baqarah verses 83 to 85. Then why, when the soul reaches the throat, and you are at that moment looking on, and we are nearer to him than you, but you do not see, that Tasawwufi masters interpret this nearness akrab ilahi minkum as the encirclement of the dying body by angels of the body, forming a ring of light between the unseen and the physical realm. Each sickness is therefore a celestial operation, a communication between these angels and the higher angels of decree, the Malaikat Al-Qadr. When Allah commands, the angel of the body in charge of the afflicted organ receives a spiritual pulse, either to loosen the tension as healing or tighten it as trial. Thus, pain itself is the vibration of angelic activity within the body, and relief is the descent of divine permission through the same channel. In Tasawwufi commentary, notably in Al-Kushairi's Risala and the esoteric interpretations of Abd al-Karim al-Jili in Al-Insan al-Kamil, These angels are depicted as threads of light woven through flesh, creating a bridge between the Alam al-Arwah, the world of spirits, and the Alam al-Ajsad, the world of forms. When a believer fasts, prays, or endures pain with patience, these angels glow brighter within his being, producing inner warmth, calm, and resilience. Their numbers are incalculable, for every living being has a unique configuration of these angelic custodians. However, early mystics estimated that in the world at any given moment, over 700 million Malaikat Al Ajsad are in constant service, moving through the veins of humanity like spiritual physicians. Each utterance of Alhamdulillah spoken during illness causes a new group of them to descend, carrying divine mercy from the seventh heaven. In their full structure, 4,000 supervising angels manage physical destiny, 360 per body maintain balance and breath, 70,000 within the circulation sustain vitality, 7 guarding the openings preserve purity, 12 maintaining the organs of sincerity regulate emotional and spiritual equilibrium, 2 primary lords of decree oversee illness and healing. Thus, the human body itself is a cosmos of angels. Each beat of the heart is an angel's wing, each breath a whisper of worship. When man suffers, these angels are not absent. They are working within him, transforming pain, purification, and weakness into proximity. Role with the prophets. Prophet Adam. When Prophet Adam was formed from clay, 70,000 angels of the body surrounded him before the Ra, meaning spirit was breathed in. Each angel infused light into a part of his form, sight, hearing, motion, breath. After his descent to earth, when he felt hunger, pain, and aging, the same angels manifested the first trial of physical endurance. In Tasawwufi commentary, these angels taught him sabr, meaning patience, the body's remembrance of its maker through endurance. Prophet Nuh. During the flood, as his body grew frail from the years of preaching, the Malaikat Al Ajsad strengthened his stamina. The Ruhaniyat, meaning spiritual essences within his limbs, remained luminous despite exhaustion. They transformed fatigue into perseverance, teaching humanity that when the body fails, the angels carry it for the sake of divine mission. Prophet Ibrahim. When he was cast into the fire, the Malaikat Al Ajsad were commanded, cool the heat within his cells. Thus, through their obedience, the fire became cool and peaceful. Tasawwufi masters interpret this as the angelic transmutation of matter. These angels shifted the molecular obedience of fire itself. In every wound and burn of faith, they remind believers that divine protection operates within the body through unseen beings of mercy. Prophet Ismail. When his throat was placed under the knife, the angel of the body halted the physical function of blood flow, preserving his form while fulfilling the test of submission. The replacement ram was the external sign, but internally, the Malaikat Al Ajsad froze time in his body so that pain would not manifest. Hence, the prophets' bodies are never abandoned to torment. Their endurance is under angelic custody. Prophet Yaqub. When he lost Yusuf, his eyes turned white from grief, a manifestation of spiritual pain through physical sight. Yet the angels of vision from the ranks of the Malaikat Al Ajsad remained at work. When Prophet Yusuf's shirt touched his face, these angels reactivated the divine current of Nur, meaning light, through his optic nerves, restoring sight. Thus, healing was both a miracle and a return of angelic equilibrium. Prophet Ayub. He is the supreme exemplar of the Malaikat Al Ajsad's governance. When Allah tested him with disease, they withdrew the sustaining barakah from his skin and flesh. Yet they never left him. Rather, they worked inwardly to preserve his heart and tongue, the organs of dhikr, meaning remembrance of Allah. When Allah decreed healing, the same angels descended with the command as stated in Surah 38 verse 42. Strike the ground with your foot. This is cool water for washing and drinking. Here the angelic energy of the earth and body merged, a cosmic realignment orchestrated by these angels of the body. Prophet Musa. When Prophet Musa placed his hand into his cloak and it emerged shining white, the Malaikat Al Ajsad manifested Noor through his skin, demonstrating divine illumination through bodily purity. During his trials with Pharaoh, they strengthened his arm, for Allah said in Surah 28 verse 35, "We strengthened your arm with our aid." In Tasawwufi interpretation, our aid refers to angelic fortification of the nerves and blood, ensuring he could hold the staff that parted the sea. Prophet Dawood. He was blessed with immense physical power and the ability to shape iron with his hands. The Malaikat Al Ajsad infused the angelic element of strength, meaning Qua Malakiya, into his muscles, symbolizing the union of divine might and human form. Prophet Sulaiman. His dominion extended over both spirits and bodies. He commanded the jinn to build, but the angels of the body sustained his form even in death. For he remained standing until the worm gnawed his staff. This was the angelic preservation of the body of a king, a mystery known to the Tasawwufi Gnostics as Sukun al-Jism fi Amr al-Rab, the stillness of the body under divine command. Prophet Yunus. When swallowed by the fish, the Malaikat Al Ajsad sustained his body in suffocating darkness. They adjusted his cellular functions to prevent decomposition, preserving life by divine decree. His repentance activated their mercy. Thus, his return to land symbolized the resurrection of the body after the darkness of despair. Prophet Isa. When Prophet Isa healed the blind and the leper, the Malaikat Al Ajsad were the unseen agents of restoration. His breath, the Nafas al-Qudsi, carried their obedience. When he ascended bodily, they lifted him, the body made weightless by the angels who had always resided within it. Prophet Muhammad. The Prophet of Mercy was the perfect locus, meaning Mazar al-Kamil, of these angels. From his first illness as a child to his final fever, the Malaikat Al Ajsad surrounded him in reverent service. During Miraj, they were those who strengthened his blessed form to withstand the divine nearness no mortal body could endure. During his final illness, the angel of the body whispered to every cell, "Return to your Lord, pleased and pleasing." In Tasawwufi literature, it is said that the Prophet's body never decayed because the Malaikat Al Ajsad remained in perpetual service to it, sealing it in light. Tasawwufi and Tariqat symbolism. In Tasawwuf, the Malaikat Al Ajsad, the angels of the body, represent one of the most intimate manifestations of divine governance. They dwell within the microcosm of the human being as ministers of Allah's command over the physical form. Their presence symbolizes that the body is not an obstacle to the spirit, but its mirror. Every illness, fatigue, and pain is a coded revelation from the unseen. 1. The body as the arena of divine testing. According to Imam al-Ghazali in Ihya Ulum al-Din, the body is the first madrasa of patience, and its trials are divine whispers through the angels of the body. These angels manifest Allah's name al-Sabur, the patient, by restraining or releasing the energies of health, allowing the seeker to experience surrender. Every ache and wound is therefore not random. It is an imtihan, meaning test written by these angels in flesh and blood. The servant who recognizes the pain as a message becomes beloved to the angels who carry that decree. 2. The 3 layers of angelic operation in the body. Tasawwufi metaphysicians, especially Hazrat Ibn Arabi, describe 3 levels of these angels. 1. Ephaniyin, the knowing angels. They dwell in the qalb heart, governing blood and emotion, translating divine will into sensation. 2. Shifaliyan, the healing angels. They inhabit the nafs, the lower self, balancing the four humor sickness, arises when their harmony is disturbed. 3. Nurian, the luminous angels, they move in the ruh, meaning spirit, connecting the body to celestial nourishment through prayer, fasting, and remembrance. Together, they ensure that every cell of the believer's form vibrates with the remembrance of Allah, dhikr al-jism. 3. Illness as a spiritual alchemy. According to Hazrat Sheikh Abd al-Qadir al-Jilani, physical suffering is the crucible of purification. When the Malaikat Al Ajsad bring a sickness, they are burning away veils of ego. When they bring healing, they are restoring the maqam of gratitude, meaning shukr. He writes, sickness is the angel's touch upon the heart, that the soul might awaken from heedlessness. Thus, a Sufi does not flee illness but reads it as divine speech. 4. Body as the mirror of dhikr. Hazrat Jalal al-Din Rumi expands this beautifully. Every atom of your body is an angel in prostration. When pain comes, it bows deeper in remembrance. The Malaikat Al Ajsad govern the rhythmic prostration of the body cells. The heartbeat, breath, and pulse are all forms of sujud al-jism. When the seeker reaches the station of awareness, meaning muraqabah, he perceives his body not as flesh, but as an assembly of angels glorifying Allah in secret. 5. The angelic role in tasawwuf practice. In the journey of the talid, meaning seeker under a kamil murshid, a perfect guide, the Malā'ikat Ajsad become active through spiritual disciplines. Som, meaning fasting, purifies the inner angels of hunger and desire. Salah, meaning prayer, activates the angelic currents in the limbs. Every movement mirrors a celestial form. Dhikr, meaning remembrance of Allah in every breath, causes the subtle angels in each organ to vibrate with light. Sabr, meaning patience, strengthens their collective unity, aligning the seeker's body with divine harmony. Hence, a body purified through tariqat becomes a house of angelic resonance. 6. The hidden secret. Jism as Arsh al-Rahman, meaning body as the throne of the merciful. Hazrat Shams Tabriz teaches that the human body is a throne where divine angels descend when the heart is purified. Your bones are the pillars of the throne. Your breath, the wind of Gabriel. Your patience, the song of angels. In Sufi symbolism, when the Malā'ikat Al Ajsad are active in a seeker, he experiences no separation between his body and his spirit. The pain of the body becomes light in the soul, and both are acts of divine love. 7. The 4 stations of the angelic body. According to the Naqshbandi, Qadiri, and Chishti orders, the journey of the Malaikat Al Ajsad unfolds through 4 stages. Sabr, meaning patience. The angels bring endurance through pain. Rida, meaning acceptance. The seeker learns to love the decree. Shukr, meaning gratitude. The angels heal through thankfulness. Fana al-Jism, meaning annihilation of the body. The seeker transcends bodily identity. Only angelic consciousness remains. At this stage, the murid becomes Jism al-Nur, a body of light reflecting divine command. Commentaries from the Tasawwufi masters. 1. Imam al-Ghazali. In Ihya Ulum al-Din, Imam al-Ghazali explains that the body is a divine trust, maintained by angels who govern its organs, humors, and states of health. He teaches that the pain of the body is the counsel of angels. The healing of the body is their prayer answered. He describes these angels as physicians of the soul, not just caretakers of flesh. Their task is to purify the qalb through jism, meaning body, each illness being a dhikr, meaning remembrance of Allah in disguise. The believer's patient sabr invites them, while complaint repels them. When one bears illness with faith, these angels record it not as pain but as tasbih, glorification. Thus the Malaikat Al Ajsad act as divine scribes of endurance, transforming human weakness into angelic strength. 2. Sheikh Abd al-Qadir al-Jilani. In Futu al-Ghaib, Sheikh Abd al-Qadir describes the angels of the body as burning fires of mercy, he says. When illness touches you, know that the angels of the body are cleansing the furnace of your being from the rust of heedlessness. According to him, the Malaikat Al Ajsad descend with two purposes: to cleanse sins through physical hardship, to test sincerity through endurance. The Shaykh identifies these angels as companions of the seeker during mujahada, meaning spiritual struggle. When the seeker's limbs ache from excessive prayer, fasting or weeping, it is these angels who sustain his vitality. They are fire angels, not of punishment, but of purification, who burn away attachment to comfort until the body itself becomes luminous. 3. Hazrat Ibn Arabi. In Al-Futuhat al-Makkiyah, Hazrat Ibn Arabi calls them Ruhaniyat al-Ajsam, the spirits animating bodies. He writes, "Every organ of man has its angel, and every pain has its name of Allah behind it." He identifies their hierarchy. The angels of the heart manifest Al-Rahman, the compassionate. The angels of the lungs manifest Al-Hayy, the ever-living. The angels of the liver manifest Al-Razak, the sustainer. The angels of the nerves and bones manifest Al-Qawi, the strong. For Hazrat Ibn Arabi, the Malā'ikat Al-Ajsad are the physical embodiment of Allah's names within man. When one's body suffers, it is a call to realize which divine name is manifesting. Thus, the pain of the body becomes an invitation to contemplate the divine attributes. To know your pain is to know your Lord, for pain is His name in form. 4. Hazrat Shams Tabriz. Hazrat Shams, in his Maqalat, interprets the Malaikat Al Ajsad as hidden worshippers within the human form. He says, "Do you not know? Every breath you draw is a prayer made by an angel who dwells in you. For him, illness and exhaustion are angelic sermons, lessons that awaken humility." He tells his disciples that the angels of the body prostrate within every cell, and when sickness comes, it is because they have gathered to speak to the soul in silence. When your limbs fail, they are bowing before Allah. When you fall ill, they are calling you to listen. Thus, Shams saw human frailty not as punishment but as intimate visitation, the angels drawing near in tenderness to remind one of the beloved. 5. Jalal al-Din Rumi. In Matnawi Book 4th, Rumi unveils the most poetic vision of the Malaikat Al Ajsad. Your body is a guest house of angels, every pulse a messenger from the unseen. Rumi teaches that the angels of the body are translators of divine longing. When you feel hunger, it is the angel of the stomach reminding you of faqr, meaning spiritual poverty. When you feel fatigue, it is the angel of rest whispering surrender. When you feel strength, it is the angel of gratitude rejoicing in divine presence. He writes, "Each vein chants Allah in its own tongue. Each pain recites a verse of truth." Rumi sees bodily suffering as a form of dhikr, an invisible salma, meaning spiritual music played by the angels who live within. The seeker who listens with the heart hears the entire body glorifying Allah. Possibility of seeing them. 1. In real life, the Malaikat Al Ajsad, the angels responsible for the balance, vitality and purification of the human body, are not ordinarily visible to physical eyes, for they dwell within the subtle realms of the human constitution, the Lata'if al-Insan. Yet the awliya and the purified seekers called al-Kashif wal-Basira may perceive them not through sight, but through spiritual unveiling, meaning kashaf, that occurs when the veils of heedlessness are lifted. Tasawwufi masters teach that these angels appear during moments of deep spiritual or physical transformation. For example, when a saint heals a sick person by Allah's permission, when a seeker endures illness with perfect surrender and suddenly feels divine sweetness within the pain, or when the body glows with light during intense dhikr or fasting. At such times, the Malaikat Al Ajsad are seen as luminous beings of gentle light, moving within the seeker's body like flowing rivers of energy. Each organ, muscle, or vein may radiate an angelic color: green for life, white for purity, gold for endurance. Their presence can cause warmth in the limbs, fragrance in the air, or tears without sadness. The great Shaykh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani said in Surah Al-Asrar, "When the body becomes the mirror of obedience, the angels of its limbs appear to the knower as lights that move with his breath. Each pain is a wing, and each sigh a ladder toward Allah." Thus, seeing them in real life means perceiving the divine wisdom that governs every heartbeat, a vision of certainty, Ayn al-Yaqin, granted only to the purified. 2. In dreams. In dreams, the Malaikat Al Ajsad often appear to those under illness, fatigue, or spiritual exhaustion. They manifest in symbolic form suited to the dreamer's state. As physicians dressed in light, performing surgery with words of remembrance, as luminous hands touching the chest or head, removing darkness or heaviness, as small stars entering the body, representing the renewal of divine strength, or as familiar loved ones offering water, milk, or food, all symbols of angelic nourishment. Imam al-Ghazali explains that the dream of healing, light entering the limbs, or sweetness in pain signifies the visitation of the angels of the body. He writes, "When one sees himself purified by illness or visited by luminous beings in sleep, he has witnessed the angels of his own constitution rejoicing in the cleansing of his sins." Iya. Ulum al-Din Kitab al-Sabr wal-Shukr, the Prophet said, "The good dream of a believer is one of the 46 parts of prophethood. Hence, to dream of these angels is a divine gift, a sign that one's suffering is not a punishment but a purification. The dream carries healing energy, and when remembered upon waking continues to work subtly within the body." 3. In Kashf, meaning spiritual unveiling. In the states of Mushahada, meaning spiritual witnessing, and Kashf, meaning unveiling, advanced seekers may perceive the Malaikat Al Ajsad directly within their subtle anatomy. Tasawwufi cosmology teaches that the human being has 7 subtle centers called Lata'if, the Nafs, Qalb, Ruh, Sir, Khafi, Akhfa, and the Latifa of the Jism, the body. The angels of the body govern this last layer, the bridge between the visible and invisible. When a murid, meaning disciple, engages in prolonged fasting, seclusion, meaning halwa or dhikr bil nafas, remembrance with breath, his perception of inner light grows. At this stage, the Malaikat Al Ajsad may appear as streams of light flowing through the veins. Each heartbeat may reveal an angelic form bowing in dhikr. Each breath becomes audible as divine praise, meaning tasbih. The visionary, meaning al-mukashafa, realizes that the entire body is a temple inhabited by angels, each one responsible for maintaining harmony between the physical and the spiritual. Hazrat Ibn Arabi says, "The angels of the body are the keepers of equilibrium between the worlds. When the seeker witnesses them, he knows that every motion in his body is an act of Allah through their service." Hazrat Shams Tabriz further adds, "You ask, have I seen angels? I say, every ache that humbles you, every tear that softens your heart, that is their touch. See them not with your eyes, but with your surrender. Roll in the grave. When the soul departs the body, the Malaikat Al Ajsad, those who once governed the organs, blood and breath, remain stationed around the earthly shell. Unlike the questioning angels, Munkar and Nakir, their duty is not interrogation but reconciliation. to return each element of the body to its origin in peace. They are sometimes called Malaikat al-Jismiyya in Tasawwufi cosmology, the angels of bodily mercy. They whisper to the body as it is laid in the soil, saying, "You served your Lord through motion and patience, now rest in his remembrance." According to Sheikh Abdul Karim al-Jili, when the saint dies, the angels of his limbs encircle his grave like guardians of a holy relic. From each cell rises a light, and the earth says, "Welcome to the one whose every breath was dhikr." These angels maintain the subtle memory of the believer's worship. The body decays, but the spiritual essence of the limbs remains alive with dhikr in the unseen world. That is why the Prophet said, "The earth does not consume the bodies of the prophets." Scholars extend this to the saints and martyrs according to the Quranic hints, for where dhikr became flesh, that flesh remains illuminated. Role in Barzakh, the intermediate realm. In Barzakh, the world between death and resurrection, the Malaikat Al Ajsad become Malaikat Al the angels of purification. They minister to the soul's subtle body called Jism Latif, cleansing it of pain, illness, and impurity gathered during worldly life. The Tasawwufi master Hazrat Abu Talib al-Makki writes, "Every pain endured in the world was an angelic touch preparing the soul for Barzakh, and every disease carried patiently becomes a garment of light that protects the soul in the intermediate realm." In this stage, the Malaikat Al Ajsad act as divine physicians. They seal the wounds of the worldly journey. They weave light into the soul's new form. They teach it how to move in the realm of spirits, just as they once taught the infant body to breathe. For the righteous, they are companions of serenity. For the heedless, they appear as shadows pressing gently, a reminder of the neglect shown to the body that was once a divine trust called Amanah. Roll on the day of Qiyamah. On the day of resurrection, the Malaikat Al Ajsad return with a thunderous light. They are among those mentioned in the Quran, Surah 36 verse 51. The trumpet will be blown, and they will come forth from their graves swiftly to their Lord. Tasawwufi commentators explain that each atom of the body carries an angelic record of its service. These angels assist in reassembling the body for judgment, the body of deeds, the body of remembrance, and the body of truth. Imam al-Qushayri writes, "When Allah commands the resurrection, the angels of the body summon each particle by its dhikr. From every vein arises its guardian, from every bone its recorder. Thus the servant stands complete. Bearing witness through his own form, they testify before Allah, not in speech but in presence. Every limb that once bowed in prayer glows with angelic light, while every limb that sinned appears veiled in darkness." As stated in Surah 24 verse 24, "On that day their tongues, their hands and their feet will bear witness against them for what they used to do." According to Tasawwufi tafsir, those witnesses are none other than the Malaikat Al Ajsad, who are always present in every act of the servant's life. At the Mizan, the divine scale, when the deeds are weighed, these angels stand at the Mizan al-Amal as the bearers of bodily intention. They represent the sincerity that once animated physical acts. Each prayer, fast or prostration is not just a deed, but a vibration within the subtle body, recorded by the Malaikat Al Ajsad. Thus, when the scales are set, these angels release those vibrations as light, causing the scale of goodness to grow heavy. The Tasawwufi master Hazrat Ibn Ajiba writes in Bahar al-Madid, "The angels of the body bring forth the secret fragrance of every act done in sincerity, a smile given in hardship, a tear shed in solitude. These weigh mountains on the scale. Those who abuse their bodies through arrogance or indulgence will find these angels silent, their light dimmed, for the Mizan measures not only quantity, but purity of the vessel that performed the deed. At the Pulsirat, the bridge over hellfire. When the soul reaches the Pulsirat, a bridge finer than a hair and sharper than a sword, it is the Malaikat Al Ajsad who steady the resurrected being. They recall every step taken in patience, every motion of endurance during earthly illness, and transform those memories into wings of light. As the believer crosses, he feels unseen hands guiding him, the very angels that once supported his body in pain. For the patient and the grateful, the bridge widens and glows. For the heedless, it trembles and narrows. Maulana Rumi alludes to this saying, "The pain you bore is your bridge. Each sigh becomes a plank across the fire. Cross upon your patience, for angels built it from your tears." These angels whisper verses of remembrance as the servant walks until he reaches the garden where pain becomes joy and the body is remade of light. Thus the Malaikat Al Ajsad are a divine secret written into every cell. They are the unseen chorus behind human endurance, patience, and healing. When one bears pain with faith, they record not agony but illumination. When one uses his body for worship, they adorn it with celestial fragrance. When one thanks Allah even in weakness, they turn flesh into light. Thus, on the day when no strength remains but that of faith, these angels will stand beside a believer saying, "You thanked in pain and your body became praise. Now enter among the healed, for your patience has taken form in light, protection and awareness. Through a Kamil Murshid, a perfect spiritual guide." The guidance of a Kamil Murshid, a perfected Tasawwufi and Tariqat master, is the first shield for the seeker who wishes to awaken awareness of the angels of the body. Such a guide teaches that the human body itself is a walking mihrab, and every breath an act of prayer if made conscious. He awakens the disciple's Sir al-Jism, the secret of the body, which is the subtle awareness that angels sustain every heartbeat and motion. Through dhikr with breath, the dhikr al-nafas, the murshid aligns the disciple's body with the rhythm of angelic remembrance. The disciple learns adab al-jism, sacred manners of the body, purity, posture, silence, gratitude and moderation. These manners invite the Malaikat Al Ajsad to dwell in peace within the body rather than flee from heedlessness. Sheikh Abdul Qadir al-Jilani said in Fath al-Rabbani, "Every cell that remembers Allah becomes a throne for an angel. Every limb that sins becomes a tomb for a light." A murshid awakens the seeker to the reality that every breath is a form shaped by zikr. By teaching breath zikr, the murshid transforms the human into a being of continuous remembrance, surpassing angels. A Kamil Murshid, meaning a perfect spiritual guide, is considered in Tasawwuf the inheritor of the Prophet, guiding seekers on the path from clay meaning nafs to light meaning ruh. The Kamil Murshid helps awaken this nafas al-Rahman meaning breath of the All-Merciful within the disciple, also as stated in Surah Kahf verse 17, "Whoever Allah guides is truly guided, but whoever He leaves to stray, you will never find for them a Murshid," meaning a spiritual guide. Angels are always in dhikr, but their dhikr is fixed and limited to the forms Allah gave them. Man, however, through guidance of a murshid, can transform his every breath into dhikr, making his remembrance continuous, like angels, and even higher because it comes through free will. In Tariqat, the murshid teaches Habs al-Nafas meaning watching the breath, and Zikr Hafi meaning silent dhikr. Every inhalation and every exhalation affirms Allah and He alone. This makes the seeker live in the constant rhythm of divine presence through the Quran. The Quran itself is the manual of healing for the body, soul, and the angels who guard both. The Prophet said, as recorded in Sahih Muslim, Hadith 804, "Recite the Quran, for it will come on the day of resurrection as an intercessor for its companions. When the Quran is recited with understanding and presence, the Malaikat Al Ajsad gather and renew the harmony of bodily energies." Key verses for protection and balance as mentioned in Surah Al-Isra verse 82, We send down of the Quran that which is healing and mercy for the believers. This verse awakens the healing angels within the body. In Surah Al-Mu'minun, verse 12 to 14, describes the creation of the human body, a remembrance that every stage of our form was watched and shaped by angels. In Surah Yasin, verses 58 and 59, peace, a word from a merciful Lord. This verse invokes the angels of tranquility who govern the body's calmness. In Surah Al-Fatiha, verse 1 to 7, the opening of all healing, reciting it with the intention of bodily protection, is said by the Sufis to activate the angelic guardians of each organ. Imam al-Ghazali said, "Every verse of the Quran has an angelic custodian. Whoever recites with presence opens a door of light in his limbs through du'as. Specific supplications awaken or strengthen the presence of the Malaikat Al Ajsad, dua of the morning as mentioned in Sunan Abi Dawud, Hadith 5051. O Allah, protect my hearing, my seeing, my body and my soul. Make them all witnesses for me, not against me." This dua calls upon the angels of the body to maintain divine balance through the day. Dua for health and protection as mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari, Hadith 5679. O Allah, you are the healer. There is no healing except your healing, a healing that leaves no ailment. Reciting this dua reminds the Malaikat Al Ajsad that their healing power is an extension of Al-Shafi, the healer. Thanking Allah by saying, Alhamdulillah, for every movement and stillness, for every breath and rest, for every pain that purifies, and every comfort that reminds. These du'as reinforce angelic awareness and gratitude, ensuring that the body remains a vessel of remembrance rather than heedlessness. Acts to do, to invite the Malaikat Al Ajsad and benefit from their spiritual and physical guidance, one must cultivate habits that honor both the body and the soul. Maintaining cleanliness and personal hygiene is paramount, for these angels are drawn to purity and order, seeing the body as a sacred vessel for divine light. Moderation in eating, drinking, and sleeping ensures that the body remains strong and balanced, enabling the angels to work unobstructed in refining its energies. Regular physical care, gentle exercise, and proper rest harmonize the body as systems, allowing the angels to channel vitality and spiritual strength. Mindful remembrance of Allah and prayer transforms every breath into a conduit of divine grace, energizing the angels within. Patience during illness, gratitude in trials, and compassion toward others amplify their presence as they feed on the subtle vibrations of obedience, humility, and spiritual awareness. Observing the prophetic etiquettes of posture, speech, and action, and engaging in acts of service and mercy further align the body with the angels' work, creating a sacred synergy between physical health and spiritual elevation. In essence, moderation, mindfulness, gratitude, and spiritual discipline open the gates for the Malaikat Al Ajsad to dwell fully within, transforming the human body into a luminous instrument of divine will. Acts to avoid: to maintain the presence and support of the Malaikat Al Ajsad, certain behaviors and attitudes must be carefully avoided, for they repel the angelic guardians of the body and disrupt the harmony between the nafs, the ruh, and the angels. Excessive indulgence in food, drink, or sleep dulls the body's vitality and diminishes the angel's capacity to purify and energize it. Neglecting cleanliness, whether of the body, the surroundings, or even the tongue, drives away the angels of purity who thrive in order, hygiene, and sacred attention. Anger, pride, or arrogance pollutes the subtle energy of the body, scattering the angel's influence and empowering the lower nafs. Mocking or despising one's own suffering or the suffering of others offends the Malaikat Al Ajsad, for they administer trials to refine the soul, Such disdain closes the channel of divine mercy flowing through the body. Excessive talk, gossip, or heedless speech weakens the angels who inhabit the throat and lungs, preventing them from transforming every breath into remembrance. Finally, despair in illness or hardship blocks the angel's subtle work of turning pain into purification, extinguishing the light that nurtures patience and resilience. In short, heedlessness, arrogance, overindulgence, and neglect are the paths that drive these angels away, while moderation, humility, and mindful living invite them to dwell within and sustain the body as a vessel of divine grace. So, dear viewers, the Malaikat Al Ajsad are the silent servants of every believer, sculpting patience, endurance, and humility through the body. They teach that pain is not punishment, it is purification. Fatigue is not decay, it is the echo of the angels tuning the soul toward the divine. Through the guidance of a Kamil Murshid, the healing light of the Quran, and the remembrance of divine du'as, one can live in awareness of these unseen companions. To honor them is to honor one's own body as a trust of Allah. The Sufi path teaches, your body is the first masjid, your patience is the first prayer, your angels are your congregation. When one moves with remembrance, eats with gratitude, and bears pain with faith, the Malā'ikat Al-Ajsad adorn his flesh with unseen wings, and when death comes, they whisper, "Return, O pure body, to the Lord who shaped you in light." Thank you for watching our video. If you enjoy this content and find it beneficial, we kindly ask you to like this video, share it with others, and subscribe to our channel for more authentic faith-strengthening content. And let's continue this journey of knowledge together. Insha'Allah, see you in the next video. Allah Hafiz.